The Farmer in the Dust spoken storytelling script. Listen closely because this story begins with a man who believed he was being cursed by the earth itself. On the far edge of a quiet valley where the winds often whipped across the open plains, lived a weary farmer named Hale. And if there was one thing Hale despised more than drought, more than broken tools, more than waking before dawn every morning, it was the dust. Dust coated everything: his windows, his boots, his dinner bowl, even the creases of his tired hands. Every time he plowed, it rose in choking clouds. Every time he harvested, it clung to his clothes like a second skin. And every evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Hale would glare at the swirling haze around his fields and mutter, "Why does this land fight me? Why can't it just let me work in peace?" But the earth rarely answers anger. It answers patience, and it answers in its own time. One sweltering afternoon, Hale marched across his fields, wiping sweat from his brow. The dust was especially fierce that day, bruising the sky into a hazy gold. He grumbled as he hauled water to the crops, kicking up little storms with each step. Then, a tremor of movement caught his eye. A cluster of tiny insects skittered along the leaves of his crops, but they didn't land. Each time they approached, a swirl of dust gusted upward, scattering them like frightened birds. Hale paused. He crouched down, and for the first time in his life, he watched. The insects came again, small, hungry pests that could strip a field bare in days. But the dust, carried by the restless valley winds, formed a thin veil along the ground. Every time they tried to dive toward a leaf, the swirling grit stung their wings and drove them away. It wasn't random. It wasn't hostile. It was protection. Hale slowly stood, stunned. For years he had cursed the dust. For years he had fought it. And yet here it was, shielding his crops, guarding his season's livelihood, defending what he worked so hard to grow. A soft laugh escaped him, surprised and a little ashamed. "All this time," he whispered, "I thought you were my enemy." The wind rose gently, stirring the dust into a slow, shimmering dance. It felt almost like a reply. The seasons passed, and Hale learned to see the land differently. When the dust rose, he no longer grumbled. He nodded. He understood. And though it still clung to his boots and coated his windows, he carried a quiet gratitude in his heart, because sometimes the things that irritate us the most are the very things standing between us and disaster. And the farmer who once cursed the dust now walked his fields with a softer gaze, aware that even life's smallest nuisances may be doing work we cannot yet see. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.